Hello, my spicy friends. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Hisuian Electrode in the Open Great League. Now, some of you might notice that this looks kind of similar to a team I've done recently, where there was a Alolan Raichu as a similar Pokemon, with an electric typing that could also handle Mud Boys, potentially with, access to a Grass move. But I've been thinking it over, just doing some testing, and I think this team is just honestly a lot better than the Alolan Raichu team. And there's a couple of reasons for that. We're going to go over it. And I think the first reason, example, whatever, is obviously Hisuian Electrode itself. The reason for that is that thanks to its grass typing, it's no longer one shot by literally every ground move in the game, or at least most of them. It also does a bit better bulk, and it is faster thanks to having Thunder Shock as opposed to Volt Switch. And don't get me wrong, Volt Switch is still a very good move. It's just that I think Hisuian Electrode is just that much faster that it really helps. Unfortunately, Hisuian Electrode does not quite outpace Swampert to a Hydro Cannon, but the good news is Hisuian Electrode does resist Hydro Cannon because of its grass typing. So I think it is generally a better Pokemon in this meta. Just plus the fact that it outpaces Skarmory by quite a bit is obviously a fantastic trait to have. And it's a Steel Wing. It resists Steel Wings, so of course it's good there too. Honestly, I think the only notable meta matchup, as far as I'm aware of, that Hisuian Electrode is worse off at than Alolan Raichu is the Talonflame matchup. And the reason for that is that Talonflame's Incinerates just chunk Hisuian Electrode so hard that it just can't reach to Wild Charges back to back. It's kind of insane. So one other thing that I'm sure you guys might want me to talk about is why I'm running Clodsire on this team. Like the synergy between Galarian Stunfisk and Hisuian Electrode are pretty obvious. Oh, just one second. I want to enjoy this. Okay. Every time a Carbink loses, I smile. But anyway, let's talk about Clodsire. Why am I running it? Well, the answer is it's a pretty decent answer to fighting types these days, and it also provides a bit of an ABB backline to Talonflame, considering how it's just that bulky. But also, it just it still does what I want to do in beating Lantern, but it's also not like weak to flyers necessarily. Like, it can kind of fight back versus Skarmory thanks to a lot of bulk, as opposed to the Venusaur I was running earlier, which just kind of dies to, yeah, it just kind of dies as Skarmory on the spot. Also, I would say Clodsire is generally better in this meta now, because a lot of Medicham, which Medicham is still around, I'm pretty sure there's one later in this video, many of them have made the switch to Dynamic Punch over Confusion, not Confusion, Psychic. Man, Confusion Medicham would suck. But anyway, yeah, most of them are running Dynamic Punch now. Not all of them, some are still running Psychic, but Dynamic Punch means the matchup becomes much, much more favorable for Clodsire, and a lot of other things, which is one of the reasons why I still think Psychic Medicham is probably the better pick, even if Psychic is kind of bad now. But anyway, as you can see here in this matchup, if you're paying attention and not listening to my ramblings, which I wouldn't blame you, we just did pretty well versus a Barboach there, Wishcash, because thanks to careful play with Hisuian Electrode, we managed to bait their shields and land an Energy Ball. Yeah, that was close to Talonflame. I've noticed some Talonflames with like very bulk-weighted IVs can just barely survive a Stunfisk Rock Slide, which, obviously we do not want. Um, and again, I'm very glad to have G-Fisk right here because I can fight back against Skarmory. This matchup is still very good for Galarian Stunfisk, don't you worry. As a matter of fact, I'm actually pretty convinced that this season is a good one for G-Fisk users everywhere. We can rejoice in the fact that Skarmory and Talonflame are everywhere, and Lantern doesn't exactly like going up against G-Fisk either, so that's a nice little thing to keep in mind. Ah, boy. So anyway, I am totally fine with Galarian Stunfisk going down here. Just because it means I can come in with Electrode and maybe farm or just knock out. Because I know I said earlier that Clodsire isn't helpless against Stunfisk, and I still think that's true, but, you know, it's a matchup I'd rather avoid. So, let's see what they're... Oh yeah, that's right, we just win. Nice. So anyway, one other reason, let's take a minor little reason, that I recorded these battles was because I just opened my game up and I noticed it was snowing in the game for some reason. It's nowhere near close to snowing in real life when I recorded this. It was like 10 to 15 degrees too warm, but you know what? I think snow in this game looks very nice. So as you can see, that Incinerate damage is insane. Hisuian Electrode is a little bit bulkier than Raichu, I believe, but not by much. And anyway, I managed to successfully catch a Power-Up Punch on Claude. You know, normally catching a Power-Up Punch is kind of meh, but Hisuian Electrode is very frail. We want all the HP we can get on this thing. So I'm fine with catching all that stuff on Clodsire. Really, we just need to win this matchup here, which is going to be very easy. We have a massive energy lead on them, which is good. I can farm up quite a bit. You know, it takes 7 counters for a foul play, so I can, you know, get 5 mud shots in. They can get 5 counters. I don't really care. It all works, man. But anyway. They're bringing back in their Talonflame, which I'm totally fine with. Just gonna hit him hard with some sludge bombs. Not much to say here. They actually go for a fly, which I was not expecting. I was expecting a flame charge because that would have knocked me out and given them some crucial energy. This might be a rare Brave Bird Fly Talonflame, which I have seen some people advocating for, so, you know, I get it. I get it. You know, good to have reliable flying damage, and Flame Charge gives a pretty reliable source of fire damage, but I don't really think it's that good, personally, but, you know, if you want to run that, more power to you. Anyway, we go down here. That's fine. I'm just predicting another fly because, like, why would you have thrown flies there recently when you could have flame charged? And sure enough, it is a fly. And I'm glad I made that prediction because that ended up winning me the game. Since this Golbat managed to successfully bait my shields, which I was not expecting. I was kind of expecting them to go for the bait first. So, I mean, it all worked out, you know. A Golbat Shadow Ball isn't really enough to threaten a G-Fisk from that range, so I thought, fuck it, why not? So my game plan right now is to just build up to 2 Rock Slides, because I know that the Talonflame doesn't have enough energy to threaten a a fly, or even a Brave Bird. So we have reached the win con, and now we're going to win the game. Nice, nice. We love to see it. We love to win. Anyway, in comes Talonflame. They're going to go for an Incinerate, which is unfortunately for them not enough. So we're gonna hit him with the game-winning Rock Slide here and move on to Game 4. I'm sure you guys have noticed by now, but this is definitely a longer video than usual. And a good reason for that is that this team is very bulky in the back. I actually think it's a pretty good dynamic for teams like this, you know, have one glassy Pokemon that hits very hard, and 2 bulkier Pokemon that really don't mind being down a shield in a worst case situation. So anyway, this is a horrible lead followed up by a horrible swap. We don't necessarily need to flip this, but if we can, that'd be awesome. I think they let this through though, which is totally fine. And they let the next Earthquake through too. Maybe they were expecting a bait, or they just figured that G-Fisk up a shield is very scary, which it is. You know, I get it. Galarian Stunfisk with a shield or 2 is very scary, especially in this meta where Flyers, Lantern, and a bunch of other stuff are everywhere, man. They're everywhere. So we do manage to flip the switch, which is very nice. But in comes a Quilladin. I actually don't know how to pronounce this Pokemon. I think it's Quilladin or Pilladin or... Yeah, Quilladin sounds better. It's like Paladin plus Quill, I think. Anyway, very spicy pick. I was not expecting this thing at all. I don't think I've ever seen it before in Go Battle League. Maybe like once when playing against another person directly. It's such a rare Pokemon. But anyway, my plan right now is just bring in Hisuian Electrode and do a bunch of damage with Wild Charge. We're going to hit really hard here, guys. They go for a Body Slam. I thought all they had was like Grass Knot and Gyro Ball. Like that's all Quilladin had, but no. I was not expecting the Body Slam spam. A bit scary, but you know, fortunately, we have our own Electrode loaded with some decent energy, and even when resisted, Wild Charge hits hard, so I'm not too scared. I managed to catch on a Rock Slide, which is fantastic, but unfortunately, it's a G-Fisk mirror, which means it means I gotta call a 50-50. Are they gonna shield my bait, or should I just go straight for it? Should I go for the Earthquake? They don't shield, which is fantastic. I basically won the game with this play. Mostly, you know, we're not quite out of the woods yet. We mostly are. I can farm down here, which is great. Just gonna go for the Rock Slide spam. If they are running Body Slam and Gyro Ball, that means we basically wall them, which is fantastic. But we'll see. I think this trainer is running Energy Ball or Grass Knot, one of those moves. Which again, totally fine. We can survive anything they can throw out from here. Yeah, Energy Ball. It's decently hard, does like 35-40, but not enough to knock us out. So I'm going to go for the Rock Slide here, and then come in with a Hisuian Electrode, and knock him out. Nice, nice, okay. I got the shield. I think this should KO, because again, like I said, Wild Charge hits really hard. It's a really strong move. Boom. Alright, let's go. Alright, final game of the night. Let's go. What are we up against here? We are up against a Sableye. Alright, a bit spooky. Pun not intended, but alright, the plan here is very simple. Just go for a Wild Charge and dip. Sableye unfortunately has just enough bulk where this isn't going to one-shot or anything. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. Sableye isn't like tanky, but it's not frail either. It's like in between, where it can tank one big thing and be alright. So Scrafty right now is not great. I didn't want to bring in Clodsire because G-Fisk is a better safe swap in that matchup. And Sableye does resist Sludge Bomb from Clodsire, which means, well, I would say it means I had to rely on Earthquake there. It was probably not a great decision, because Sableye was so low on HP, it wouldn't have mattered. Anyway, here I decide to shield up and go for the Earthquake on Scrafty. And my reason for this is that after an Earthquake, one Wild Charge from Hisuian Electrode should knock it out. And yeah, they are definitely in Wild Charge range now. So if I can, if need be, if they swap out, we'll be fine. They are also in range of a Sludge Bomb too, which is also totally fine. Let's see, what are they going to go for here? They're going to go for a Foul Play, which is not great. I got a little bit too greedy here with like farming energy. Actually, wait, no, never mind. I was thinking of a different game. Yeah, this worked out perfectly. We are fine. So we're just going to go for the Sludge Bomb here, knock them out before they can reach another Foul Play. Fantastic. In comes Sableye. Yeah, I don't quite think Foul Play can knock us out from here. And yeah, it doesn't. So one Sludge Bomb would be enough, but they catch on Lickitung, which is actually a very good play, unfortunately. Because it means that Lickitung is just so bulky, man, that a Wild Charge from this range would still not knock it out. Which again, I know, it's Lickitung. It is a very bulky Pokemon. Everyone knows this. But have you seen Wild Charge, man? That just like rips through stuff like paper. I mean, honestly, I would love to see a Hisuian Shadow Electrode at some point. Like drop the Shadow for that Niantic. That would be fun. But unfortunately, that Wild Charge is not enough. I don't quite think I can Thunder Shock down from here either, so I kind of just throw out of desperation. Probably not the best play to make there. Yeah, it's pretty much over. I can't really do anything here. Yeah, GG's, trainer. So yeah, that was definitely a misplay on my part. I probably should have just shielded and gone for the Thunder Shock farm down, but oh well, that's fine. So let's see what my rewards are. Got some decent ones here. 4-1. I'm going to call it there. That is a good set. And overall, I quite enjoy this team. I think that Hisuian Electrode is actually a pretty solid anti-meta lead in this current meta. Just because there's so many flyers and Skarmories and waters, it's just kind of insane. Thanks for watching, my spicy friends, and remember, stay spicy.